Yeah, 45. I will send the attendance link once again. The penultimate topic is note making. I was telling you. Ultimate means final. Final is report writing. Penultimate is the second one from the final. Second one from the last is note making. After this, we have report writing. Note making and note taking. These are the two different things you have to remember. Note taking, you take notes, when somebody is speaking. When the lecturer is speaking, you take notes. That is called note taking. This is note making. You make notes on your own by reading. After reading or while reading a passage or a text, you make notes. While listening to a lecture, you take notes. That is the difference between take notes and make notes. What do you do when you read an interesting article or a passage relevant to your subject? That is what we do. When we read an interesting subject, when you read an interesting article, what do we do?
We prepare notes.
We prepare notes, right? Very good. That's another good term, prepare. Prepare can be making or taking. Very good. We prepare notes. And when do you make notes? After reading a passage, after reading a text, or after watching a program on television, after watching a movie, you make notes. If you write something after doing that, that is making notes. What do you do before making notes?
You will read, sir.
Yeah, you read. Yeah, you read. Yes. Are there any standard methods for making notes? Do you know any methods of note making?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, what are they? Tell me.
If we write in our notes, whatever we are writing, it will be known to us. We can easily, means we can't forget that one.
Okay, let us come to that later. And what are the advantages of making notes? If you make notes, see the lesson I sent.
Remember easily.
Just you. How many pages notes did I send yesterday for first semester and second semester?
36.
Do you remember 37? 37 for first semester and 31 for second semester. On the whole, 30, 68 pages, right? 68 pages notebook. That won't be more than 40 pages in print. How many pages are there in your textbook? Around 240 pages are there in your textbook. Do you know, do you have textbook? 260. So 260 pages notebook, textbook is there. After reading that, I made notes in just 68 pages. So notes is a smaller one. So we can easily revise. Can't we easily revise? 60 pages, 68 pages, we can easily revise. But it is difficult to revise the entire textbook. Okay, and it is easy to remember notes, right? Now observe how note making is done. See, you please read this passage very quickly. In 2 minutes you have to read the entire passage aloud. Can you see the passage?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dr. Pramod Karan Sethi, an orthopedic surgeon of Jaipur, has transformed the lives of millions of crippled Indians with his creation of prosthesis, artificial limb, popularly called the Jaipur foot. Have you heard of Jaipur foot?
No, sir.
Come on, read
Yes.
quickly. Read it quickly. I hope you completed reading. Have you completed reading? Making notes involves reading comprehension also. In reading comprehension, after reading, you understand and you answer some questions which are asked at the end. In making notes, you read and understand. In reading comprehension also, you read and understand, but to answer questions. In making notes, you read and understand to make notes. Whenever you make notes, you write only important points. You always neglect the unimportant points. Okay? Not only in making notes, in taking notes also, you note down only important points. You leave unimportant points. What are the important points in this passage? You have to in reading comprehension, I told you to read the passage 3 times, at least 2 times, first very fast, then slowly. You have to read it. Whenever a passage is given, you have to read it fast for the first time. Then read it slowly and underline. This is the method to read any passage. Just ask you to read. Just ask you to read and understand. Hope you have completed reading, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Now I hope you have read the passage. See, this is the notes. See how notes is written. Any passage, any text, any essay, any article, any book can be split into 3 parts: introduction, body, and conclusion. Right? What is their introduction? In paragraph 1, paragraph 1 is usually the introduction in a passage. We have talked about Dr. Pramod Karan Sethi, orthopedic surgeon. What did he do? Created an artificial limb called prosthesis, popularly known as Jaipur foot. Earlier, the such foot, solid ankle cushioned heel, was used many imitations, especially for rural poor. Many limitations are there for rural poor. Now, body, second and third paragraphs. Planned to evolve a new design for the foot to meet the needs of the rural disabled, took the help of local artisans, made of vulcanized rubber, flexible, can ride a bicycle or even climb a tree. Sethi received both the Padma Shri and the Magsaysay Award in 81. Conclusion, Sethi proved that the best is not necessarily the best. This is the notes. What do you do? See, this is Q method. Sample outline using Q method. Notes is made mainly in 2 methods. One is Q method and another one is a mind mapping method. Mind mapping method, you can easily understand, is it is like a map. It is like a picture. Mind mapping method is nothing but a picture. We'll come to that in the next slide. But this one is Q method. Q means hint. Hint ఇవ్వడం. Hints ఇవ్వడం. అంటే only words or small sentences are used here in this Q method. In exam, you may be asked to make notes in either Q method or in mind mapping method. If nothing like that is given, depending upon the passage, you can use Q method or mind mapping method. ఏది చేయగలము అనేది చూడండి, దాని ప్రకారం చేయండి. Almost any passage can be written in Q method. Notes can be made for any passage in Q method. That is writing important points. Q method is nothing but writing important points. It has 3 parts: introduction, body, conclusion. Okay. Now read everything again very quickly. Read the passage and read the notes. I want, please, at least this time, please read aloud. Are you reading? Please read very quickly.
Yes, sir.
Read quickly. Is it clear? First time you have to read very fast. Second time while reading, you have to underline the important points and write those important points, either in words or in small sentences. That is notes, Q method notes. So in the first paragraph, you have Dr. Pramod Karan Sethi. Unnada Pramod Karan Sethi?
Yes, sir.
Who is he?
Sir, it is there.
Who is he?
Orthopedic surgeon, sir.
Right.
Orthopedic
What-
surgeon.
Yes. What did he do?
He created an artificial limb called
Artificial
it
limb,
was
sir,
popular known
called
as Jaipur foot.
యా జైపూర్ ఫుట్ అని ఉన్నది, చాలా ఫేమస్ ఇది. కాళ్ళు చేతులు తెగిపోయిన వాళ్ళు జైపూర్ ఫుట్. ఆర్టిఫిషియల్ లింబ్ అంటే ఆర్గన్. జైపూర్ ఫుట్, జైపూర్ హ్యాండ్ కానీ తయారు చేసుకోవడానికి ఫేమస్, జైపూర్ లో తయారవుతుంది అది. దానికంటే ముందేమన్నా ఉండేనా ఇట్లాంటిది? బిఫోర్ జైపూర్ ఫుట్ were there any artificial organs?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what were they?
It was solid ankle cushion feet.
Right, very good. Solid ankle cushion feet. But
cushion.
why did Dr. Pramod Karan Sethi make Jaipur foot when there were already such foods available? Such food was used, but there were many limitations, especially for rural people. That means it was very costly. Such food was very costly. That is why Dr. Pramod Karan Sethi made Jaipur food. Okay, this is there in introduction. Based on this, you can write sentences. Okay, sentences raste malli neeku expansion of notes aitundi. Body lo, what are the parts? What are the things in body? Second and third paragraphs come under body. Plan to evolve a new design for the food to meet the needs of the rural disabled. రూరల్ పీపుల్, పల్లెటూళ్ళలో ఉండే వాళ్ళ కోసం ప్రత్యేకంగా తయారు చేయాలి, తక్కువ ధరలో తయారు చేయాలి అని అనుకున్నాడు, తయారు చేసాడు. టుక్ ద హెల్ప్ ఆఫ్ లోకల్ ఆర్టిజన్స్. చూడండి, ఇంటర్నేషనల్ డిజైనర్స్, మేకర్స్, ఆర్కిటెక్ట్స్ రాలే. ఓన్లీ లోకల్ పీపుల్, లోకల్ ఆర్టిజన్స్, లోకల్ స్కిల్డ్ పర్సన్స్. ఆర్టిజన్స్ మీన్స్ స్కిల్డ్ పీపుల్. ఓకే, లోకల్గా ఉన్న వాళ్ళని ఉపయోగించుకొని made of vulcanized rubber. So Jaipur foot is made of vulcanized rubber. So what is vulcanizing? You must know. It is flexible. That foot is flexible. And they can ride a bicycle or even climb a tree. Chudandi, Jaipur foot petkoni, they can climb a tree or they can ride a bicycle kudanata. Artificial kaal petkoni kuda. And Sethi received both Padma Shri and the Rama Magsaysay Award in 1981. Conclusion. What is the conclusion? Last paragraph lo unnadi adi okasari chudandi malli. Proved that the West is not necessarily the best. పశ్చిమ దేశాలు, అమెరికా, యూరోప్ లాంటి దేశాలే కాదు బెస్ట్, మన భారతీయులు కూడా బెస్ట్. జైపూర్ ఫుట్ అంటే ఇంటర్నేషనల్లీ ఫేమస్. ఇట్ ఈస్ చీప్. many I think many foreigners also come there to get their artificial limbs. Okay, చూడండి సైజ్ చూడండి. How many words are there in the passage? How many words are there in the notes? Using Q method, only important points are written in 3 parts: introduction, body and conclusion. What are the important points and telusukodaniki you have to read the passage 2 or 3 times very fast. Okay, any doubt?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Now read it.
The notes we make should be a concise and accurate.
Concise means very small.
The section of the technique of note making depends on the nature of information, detail required, your style, etc. We should omit all irrelevant materials, concentrating only on important points.
This is what I have been telling you, right? You have to concentrate writing only important points. It should be very concise, as small as possible. And it should be correct. It should be accurate. So which note making we have to use, which method do we have to use anedi, it depends upon the subject. Adi etla, let us go to the next slide. Chudandi. Q method and mind mapping method. There are basically two methods of note making. One is Q method. Q method is also called,
Sequential or linear note making.
yeah, right. Q method is also called sequential note making or linear note making. Mind mapping method is also called
Pattern note making.
pattern note making. These are the two methods. We have already seen Q method, right? Sequence order lo varsaga, linear ante kuda varsaga raavadame. Linear anna sequential anna order lo varsaga raavadam. That is Q method. We have seen, just now we have seen that Q method. Then mind mapping method. Let us see what are the important points in Q method and mind mapping method. Let me show you. How can we Q method? Read what are the points, important points in making
Q method.
Q method, sequential or linear note making.
List or
List of
phases
phase
called
called
are
cues.
used. Keywords and phrases. Headings. Subheadings underlined or highlighted key points, margins or space for comments or future additional notes. Inclusion of the diagrams, flowcharts, and colors. Suitable layout, easy to store in its long-term memory.
Yeah, what is very easy to remember if notes is made like that. What do? We write only keywords and phrases. Okay, important keywords means important words and phrases. అవసరమైతే హెడ్డింగ్స్ పెడతాము, కొన్నిసార్లు క్లాసిఫికేషన్ టైప్ ఉందనుకో, ఒక హెడ్డింగ్ పెడతాం, దాని కింద సబ్ హెడ్డింగ్స్ పెడతాము. అందులో కూడా మళ్ళీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ పాయింట్స్ ఉన్నప్పుడు we underline those important points or highlight మార్కర్ పెన్స్ తోటి హైలైట్ చేస్తాము. మార్జిన్స్ కి కొంచెం స్పేస్ వదిలిపెడతాము, ఇక్కడ లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ కు స్పేస్ వదిలిపెడతాము. ఎందుకు ఫ్యూచర్ లో ఇంకేమైనా కామెంట్స్ రాసుకునేదంటే రాసుకుంటాం. ఓకే, if needed some diagrams also may be included. Diagrams or flow charts and colors may be used. Okay, this is Q method. Keywords and phrases are used, headings and subheadings are used, important words are underlined or highlighted, margins are left. If needed, diagrams and flowcharts are included. This is Q method, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then next, mind mapping method. See, what is mind mapping method? It is a visual method. First, let me show you mind mapping. Let me show you one space shuttle. Let us see a very good example which is there in your textbook. So this is the text. Please read the text very quickly. It is a very small text. Read it very quickly 2 times. Can you see the text?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Read it very quickly. I have read the passage. It is a very
Yes,
small
sir.
and simple passage. Now see, this is mind mapping method. This is mind mapping method. Have understood the difference between the mind mapping method and Q method?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It is a map. See, the basic thing in this passage, the author is talking about space shuttle. Space shuttle has parts of a space shuttle, uses of a space shuttle, features of a space shuttle, and 4 space shuttles. This is the entire thing. That's all. This is mind mapping method. It is a map. It is a picture. It shows you the way. It makes you remember very easily. Space shuttle. In this passage, the author is talking about space shuttle. Space shuttle has 2 solid rocket boosters, and space shuttles can be used to carry astronauts. Use of space shuttle, and there are features of a space shuttle are space shuttles can be reused, and it can carry payload, it can carry weights. And there are 4 space shuttles launched so far: Columbia, Challenger, Discovery, and Atlantis. Okay. Now, the same is written in Q method. See, Q method. This is Q method. Q method is writing only important points. Converting those important points into a map is mapping method. Okay. The same map. This is mind mapping method. This is Q method. Q method uses of a space shuttle to carry important points. Only important points will be noted down. Uses of a space shuttle to carry astronauts and payload into space. Parts of a space shuttle: 2 solid rocket boosters, 1 external fuel tank, and 1 orbiter. Space shuttles launched and their features: Columbia 1981, it is reusable. Challenger 1980, it was launched in 1982. It weighs 2 million kg. Discovery was launched in 1983. It has a thrust of 11.7 million tons. Atlantis was launched in 1985. The rocket boosters support the orbiter and fuel tank. This is Q method. Q method is nothing but, I am repeating again and again, Q method is nothing but writing down important points, that is important words and phrases, sometimes sentences, in order, in sequential order. They have to be written. And if we convert the same into picture, everything cannot be converted into picture, into map. That is called mind mapping method. Do you understand the difference between mind mapping method and Q method now?
Yes, sir.
As now, what did we do in mind mapping method? These are the steps involved in mind mapping method. Mind mapping or pattern method. Read them very quickly. It is a visual method kada. Visual చూడడానికి అందంగా ఉండేదాన్ని visual అంటాం. It looks very beautiful. It appeals. అందుకే దాన్ని visual method అన్నాం. Mind mapping method is a visual method. Q method is not a visual method. Only steps, important points are there. And in mind mapping method, we use arrows and circles that connect keywords. Kada vaadnam kada?
Yes, sir.
It has a central idea in the center, and the various points are linked with arrows, boxes, circles to present the interconnectivity. ఇంతకు ముందు చూసినాం మనం. సెంటర్ లో స్పేస్ షటిల్ అని రాసినాం, రౌండ్ గా పెట్టినాం. తర్వాత దానికి ఒక ఇటువైపు ఒక ఆరో యూజెస్, ఇటువైపు ఒక ఆరో స్పేస్ షటిల్స్, ఇటువైపు యూజెస్, ఇటువైపు ఇట్లా 4 రకాలుగా 4 వైపులా ఎన్ని ఉంటాయని పెట్టాం. వాట్ ఆర్ ద స్టెప్స్ ఇన్వాల్వ్డ్ ఇన్ మైండ్ మ్యాపింగ్ మెథడ్?
Starting with the central heading or concept in the center of the page.
Yeah, that is what we did. Space shuttle rasnam. Then
Noting keywords, ideas, and or concepts which surrounded the central idea, a
Yeah.
concept.
yes,
Headings and subheadings highlighted with boxes or circles.
Yeah, we used boxes and circles.
Underlining or highlighting key points using symbols, images, and colors.
Yeah, we have to. We have not done it, but we can underline the important. As it is a very small space passage, we did not underline. Yes.
Using arrows or lines to link keywords, ideas, and concepts, and to show developments, process, etc.
Yeah.
Using shortened forms or abbreviations to save time.
Yeah, you can use short forms and abbreviations also. Read quickly. We have only 1 minute time.
Using diagrams to present information visually with usage of minimal words.
Minimal words, తక్కువ words వాడతాము, డబ్బాలు అవన్నీ డయాగ్రామ్స్ చేస్తాం. నెక్స్ట్
Use shortened forms or abbreviations to save time.
yes.
Use diagrams to present information visually with usage of minimal words.
Yes.
Highlight and underline the important points in the text as you read.
Yeah, these are the two methods of note making. మనము exam లో చెప్తేనేమో, if they ask us to write in Q method or mind mapping method, we have to use that method. If they don't tell anything, just make notes for the following passage. You can make notes in any way you like. Okay, make notes అన్నాడు, మీరు క్యూ మెథడ్ అయితే క్యూ మెథడ్ చేయండి, మైండ్ మ్యాపింగ్ మెథడ్ తీసుకుంటే మైండ్ మ్యాపింగ్ మెథడ్ చేయండి. చెప్పినప్పుడు క్యూ మెథడ్ లో రామంటే క్యూ